share that.
Yeah, I will.
This is one of two videos,
Those we have planned for
and
today.
yeah, it's exactly a year later. If you don't remember, last Halloween we talked we talked I finally did my and I finally did my Castlevania tier list. We did our Castlevania tier list.
Now, because of various factors, we decided to exclude any of the 3D games, as well as Judgment from that list.
Well, mainly I didn't have a means to play them.
You didn't have a means to play any Judgment or any of the 3D games, and since then we've also got a new 2D game.
We got a new remake. We got a remake thanks to the Dominus collection.
So we figured, on the year anniversary of our first Castlevania tier list video, it wasn't really a better time to update this list than that.
Thing is, I think as I mentioned, I got a Steam Deck. Since that video.
So, this list will include Castlevania
Haunted Castle Revisited.
Haunted Castle Revisited, and the 3D entries of the series. And Judgment. Now, there is an exception, which are the two Lords of Shadow games, which...
Yeah, I guess I'll get those out of the way.
We'll get these out of the way first.
And on the tier list, I placed the two games in
a
tier below,
unnumbered tier, an unlettered tier.
It doesn't feel like Castlevania.
It felt too far removed for Noah to really get into it.
It really is. It is quite literally God of War meets Castlevania. Castlevania meets God of War.
Objectively, it doesnn't seem like they don't seem to be terrible games. Objectively, it just didn't really click with them.
Yeah, I played. I think I played. I played like the first. I played like the first chapter of Lords of Shadow. Then kind of stopped a little after the second at the start of the second one.
Yeah.
At the start of the second chapter.
He did give it a shot.
I tried.
It just didn't click.
And well, obviously, that meant I didn't play Lords of Shadow 2 either.
Yeah. So those two games will not be covered because, well, frankly, they're way out of my ballpark. And Noah didn't feel obligated to finish them either. So yeah, those. The good news is that other than the mobile games and whatever that one spin-off,
the rail shooter
mobile games, other than weird, extremely non-standard Castlevanias like that, and the what was that one game? It was Xbox Live Arcade.
Harmony of Despair.
Other than like Harmony of Despair, Grimoire of Souls, the rail shooter,
and the older Java mobile games.
Other than that stuff. Yeah, it's pretty much all here. So
got all of the the console on handheld.
So in the order we're gonna go over them, let's list off the 6 games real quick.
All right, those are Haunted Castle Revisited, Castlevania Judgment, Castlevania 64, Legacy of Darkness, Lament of Innocence, and Curse of Darkness.
Yes. If you want to hear our opinions on any of the games not mentioned so far, go ahead and check out last year's Halloween video.
Yeah, if you want.
I actually review games in that one.
Yeah, you actually, yeah.
Here, all I did was help Noah formulate cohesive write-ups for his opinions.
You're my co-writer.
Yeah, I'm your co-writer.
Let's start with. Thankfully, we're starting with something good.
Yeah, start off on a high note.
Okay. Or we start with Judgment.
Oh, you played that first.
I played Judgment.
You played Judgment.
Or no, never mind.
Yeah, we'll start. No, never mind. Let's start with. Let's get this one out of the way.
Castlevania Judgment, released in 2008 for the Wii.
Do we give the descriptions and then reveal what tier, or do we reveal the tier first?
I think I think I'd just say what tier they're in.
Castlevania
Oh,
Judgment.
Well, for this one, I knew this game was probably gonna suck.
Which tier did it go in?
E.
E tier. Bad.
Bad. Right in there with the Haunted Castle and the Sharp X68 version of.
Yep. And that's the original Haunted Castle, to clarify, not revisited.
Yeah, the arcade Haunted Castle. Mm-hmm. But no, Castlevania Judgment sounds like a good idea and concept, and somehow they fucked it up.
Yep.
The roster is rather unbalanced. The combat is not particularly satisfying, with it boiling down to button mashing and the difficulty setting into balance rather poorly. Easy mode is usually mind-numbing. Really boring. I was literally falling asleep during several playthroughs.
I can attest he was like dozing off in the middle of combat.
I was playing as Dracula, motherfucker.
You should be falling. There's something wrong if you're falling asleep playing as Count Motherfucking Dracula.
Yeah. Normal it feels way too brutal, way more brutal than its title implies. The game making you play every story twice. Either true endings, all of which are nothing more than a few lines of text, actually the same in music and background for every character.
They don't even get their own cinematics.
The character designs are baffling in some cases. Eric is the most notable example of a bewildering redesign, being a child in this game for seemingly no reason.
He's a bratty child.
Okay, he looks even more like a girl.
Yeah.
He looks even more girly.
Yeah.
He's even more. Okay, Grant is also deeply bizarre, are being portrayed as a white-haired mummy man and wielding circular blades. The Belmont, Simon, and Trevor wouldn't feel out of place in a game with an AO rating. Jesus Christ! They. By the way, I guess I didn't point this out. Oh, out within the notes. Artist judgment and art was done by the same artist as Death Note.
Yes.
Yeah, it really shows. It really shows. You can really tell.
Very strange design direction.
The fucking Simon and Trevor's BDSM look.
I don't think all of the designs are objectively bad.
Yeah, same could be said for Carmilla, but at least that's accurate. It's the common portrayals of the character. The designs aren't the main issue of the game's presentation, though. The writing is the real problem here. To be specific, some of the characters in this game are characterized in utterly bizarre ways. Most baffling of which being Maria Renard, for some reason, and they made her an insecure teenager who's unhappy with her breast size. This isn't even close to either of Maria's canon appearances and comes out of absolutely nowhere. Several scenes with her are legitimately uncomfortable to watch because of those bizarre writing decisions. Even the vampires are... Oh my god, vampire! Even the vampires are bigger than mine.
Why?
Also, she does this to Sypha and Carmilla.
Why'd they make this her central character trait?
Don't worry, she's 15. It's not as cursed.
It's still really fucking weird.
Several scenes, yeah. To put in simple terms, this game is a hot mess. As it's not the worst game in series, that's an extremely low bar, but everything about it falls flat. There's a sliver of potential here, but in its current state, this game is just bad. And yeah. I guess I also didn't mention another weird writing choice.
Yeah.
What they did with Grant.
Yeah, it's portrayed that Trevor and Sypha are married.
Grant didn't.
But Grant had unrequited feelings for Sypha and is jealous of Trevor.
He didn't go to their wedding.
And didn't attend their wedding because of that.
What? When
the fuck was this ever?
Also, this was Grant's last appearance.
God.
This was his final appearance.
Ouch. Until today.
Oh yeah. The Vampire
Survivors crossover. They included Grant.
Yeah, but yeah, this one's bad.
And so like the frustrating part about it is the basic concept of a Castlevania fighting game has a lot of potential. Mm-hmm. Like, it's not inherently a terrible idea. they just executed it so poorly.
It's also like it's also a three. It's a yeah. It's also even a 3D fighter.
Which in and of itself could work.
There's not a large market for those.
But we do have games like Tekken, and
Tekken,
and its associated Pokemon spin-off,
Yeah.
which I'm very familiar with personally.
Yeah, but yeah, that's not really a. That's sort of mostly an untapped market.
And it would have been cool if they did it right.
And also, I guess something other also weirdly enough, I guess another note about character designs. Another thing to note is, weirdly enough, when it came to Shanoa, she's actually less revealing.
They somehow, like, in spite of how they portrayed Maria and Carmilla, and I don't remember if Sypha falls into that camp or not.
I don't know. Yeah,
Somehow they made
Shanoa was the most consistent character in the game.
Yeah. Which I guess somewhat makes sense with the timing of this game's
Yeah,
release. They wanted to be faithful to the game that just came out.
Hell, if you you can unlock her by
you can unlock Shanoa before you can ignore normal unlock requirements and get Shanoa immediately if you connect data to Order of Ecclesia.
Yeah, right. Yeah, because the Wii and DS could just connect to each other.
Or you could link with a copy of Order of Ecclesia.
Now, obviously, I couldn't do that because I wasn't playing on an actual. I didn't have I don't have physical copies of either.
Yeah, we have them digitally.
Digitally, yeah, just
perfectly legally.
Perfectly legally.
And the closest thing I can compare it to is Rosalina and Mario Kart Wii.
Oh right, yeah. If you have,
it could be unlocked through having Galaxy save data instead of her normal unlock method.
But yeah, somehow the most consistent, and yeah, somehow less revealing.
Yeah, they somehow, if anything, they made her design less revealing.
Yeah,
which is really funny.
But this game. Yeah, my point is, Judgment is just, it's a fighting game on the Wii. Thankfully, I know that this shouldn't be a compliment,
but the motion controls are optional.
Yeah, you can just play with a normal, play with a classic controller setup.
Before he heard like, this game sucks because motion control. No, there were so many other issues. Playing with actual buttons does not fix it.
So I guess moving on.
Let's move on to something much better.
Over in B tier.
All the way up in B tier, the good tier.
Just released.
Haunted Castle Revisited.
M2 Strikes Again. This one came literally out of nowhere.
From the team that brought you Adventure Rebirth.
Brought you Adventure Rebirth.
The video brought you Castlevania: The Adventure Rebirth for the Wii Virtual Console.
WiiWare.
As a WiiWare title. All we have
M2 Strikes Again when it comes to improving some of Castlevania's less than stellar entries. This time they've remade the Haunted Castle arcade game from 1988 as Haunted Castle Revisited, which was included as a bonus game and alongside the original on the Castlevania Dominus collection. Other than the obvious graphical upgrade, the game's been altered to address many of the criticisms people had about the original version. Most in immediately obvious changes that Simon takes up less of the screen, which means he can reasonably dodge out enemies and obstacles now. The remake also adds candles to the game, giving you more opportunities to pick up parts and sub-weapons. The hazard spam has been drastically reduced, making the game feel less like an amateur Mario Maker level. And more like something an actual game designer created. The game feels a lot fairer overall. And the best example of this is the bridge section leading up to the fight with Dracula. In the original, there were no safe spots. The ground crumbled so fast you would be dead if you stopped for even a second. You're going to be one of the dozen crows trying to attack you. This version, and there are safe spots to stand, and in the part and the parts that are clearly telegraphed, the parts that are clearly telegraphed.
There are safe spots to stand, and the parts that are safe are clearly telegraphed.
Yeah.
Sorry, script typo.
Yeah, it also helps that falling in this version and just takes some of your health and puts you back on solid ground. Dracula's second phase has been drastically reworked. It now consists of multiple heads that shoot projectiles and create flame pillars.
Yeah.
That shoot projectiles and create flame pillars. You must strike Dracula's soul to beat him. Overall, I had a good time with Haunted Castle Revisited. M2 really, it took one of the worst titles that made it actually fun to play. Go check it out if you haven't already.
Yeah, this is not sponsored by Castlevania Dominus Collection.
Go play Go buy it.
By Dominus.
That's
Collection.
an order.
Yes, go get Dominus Collection.
That's an order.
Okay. DS games also go hard.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Oh boy. You know, after Vampire Killer, I didn't expect to play any games that were
worthy of the same tier.
Here, but well. Wow. The N64 game.
Yes.
Going into CV64, I knew it wasn't going to be good. At this point, it's the only Castlevania game I couldn't finish because of how much I disliked it.
We're doing a video.
We're doing a video.
I'm sorry.
I know this sentiment and is echoed a lot for a lot of franchises, and it's not always warranted. But the Castlevania series had a rough transition to 3D. This game feels worse to control than the adventure, and that's impressive in the worst way possible. Platforming this game is painful. I got stuck climbing a ledge on the first level for at least 5 minutes. It's because of how finicky lining up a ledge grab was. For some reason, they decided to use the NES game as an example, or unlock your movement in midair. In a 2D game, this decision wouldn't exactly be a deal breaker, but this isn't a 2D game, and there are a lot more ways a jump can go wrong in 3 dimensions. Unfortunately, jumping also happens to be the fastest form of movement in this game, so you'll have to contend with us a lot if you don't want to be moving at a snail's pace. Combat isn't much better with a targeting system that barely works regardless of which character you're playing as. Everything I've described is bad, but it's not the worst part. That would have to be the level design. And each level involves wandering around.
Who's wandering around?
Aimlessly until you find to activate something to progress. Yes, just like in Vampire Killer. Actually, in the amount of time it takes to beat Vampire Killer, you'd probably clear 1 level of 64. Or this game, and can't even bother to have a map, which is something even Vampire Killer had the decency to provide. Alright, the first level bombards you with skeletons that run up to and explode, as well as non-exploding skeletons that chase you down on a fucking motorcycles. The third stage has you being chased by 2 dogs and a creature with a fucking chainsaw while chasing you in a maze. It can all gang up on you and drain your health in no time. And then there's the vampires, which lock you in place and inflict you with a vampirism status that prevents you from attacking, unless you use a purifying item. Overall, this was not a fun experience, and I'm expecting it to be better. Maybe like Sea of Darkness will be better, but for some reason I doubt that. Yeah, this was an F tier.
Yeah.
This was an F tier.
It's just...
I know these games have their fans,
but it's just they just feel.
If you're wondering, I quit at level 5.
Yeah.
AKA.
You really did play through for a bit to see if it got good.
I played up to level 5 with the fucking Nitro puzzle.
Mm-hmm.
Now, moving on. Legacy of Darkness was better. But not enough for me to actually want to finish it, though. The unreliable targeting from the previous game has either been improved or just isn't a noticeable issue with Cornell. Speaking of Cornell, he has a wolf transformation, which I assume makes him stronger, but I couldn't tell for sure. It's a cool mechanic for concept, but has concept, but the mechanic has one fatal flaw. You have to wait until your jewels fully deplete to turn back, uh, which means no sub weapon is well in wolf form, and you're also let without any of the resources required to use sub weapons when you turn back. Effectively means you uh, 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 have to commit to using your entire supply of jewels if you want to go into wolf mode, which isn't generally a very worthwhile trade-off. So, and I think someone else added that doesn't even make sense for.
It's in universe, considering Cordell's supposed to be able to control his wolf form.
No, not here. No, can't do that. I gave up at stage 4 because of a painful escort mission into the same garden maze from the previous game. I had to protect this defenseless child who moves much slower than Cornell and easily dies to the chainsaw slasher running around the garden. In conclusion, despite the technical improvements into the previous iteration of the game, this game, it still didn't manage to be worth finishing for me. That's another F tier.
Yep, unfortunately.
So, yeah, you could imagine things weren't looking very good.
Yeah, Curse of Darkness started out promising.
Legacy of Darkness.
Legacy of Darkness. So sorry, I hate that they've reused subtitles. Almost half they have reused subtitles.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Legacy of Darkness started out kind of promising.
Yeah, and
like the first level, first few levels were somewhat competent.
I didn't even mention the day and night cycle they brought back.
Oh yeah.
Which involves waiting around. And actually, this involves waiting around. You can buy. Oh, you can also buy. You can buy these cards. Are to speed up the process. But that apparently, you're apparently punished for that.
For buying too much.
For using too many.
Yeah, if you skip too much time, it does take away from your game timer.
And also, yeah, meaning you don't get the good ending.
Yeah, you have to complete it within a certain amount of in-game days, or you get the bad ending automatically.
Just like Simon's Quest.
Mm-hmm. And also, if you spend too much money at the shop, you have a really you have a crazy super boss right before the final boss.
What the fuck? What the fuck?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Either way, but yeah, I was needless to say, going into the needless to say, I wasn't didn't leave the best impression with the N64 games. It was so my time for my my experience of the sixth gen titles.
Yep.
All starting with Lament of Innocence. And I had no expectations for Lament of Innocence given the previous two titles. Well, the gameplay was thankfully much better than that of its 3D predecessor. Level design is a lot more streamlined and less
Grandma, please. Okay.
Yeah, the level design is a lot more streamlined and less convoluted and meandering. And the combat was a significantly more depth this time around, with the ability to learn new skills after fighting enough enemy. He's given you a reason to engage in the combat, and you're not forced to. So, one of the most important additions to this game is a map, a feature any sort of adventure game should have. Only times I can recall getting stuck in this game were forgetting to grab the Red Phoenix key in the Garden Forgotten by Time. I couldn't grab the Wolf's Foot or the Anti-Soul Mysteries Lab, which was entirely on me. And the laser puzzle in the Ghostly Theater, which I blame the game for not conveying very well.
So, to sum up, you have to be facing the statues, or they don't. Or they are shooting out lasers.
So you gotta be also holding the guard button.
Which means you have to be holding the guard button to strafe.
What the? Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I found the story quite intriguing, even if it was a bit corny at times. It was cool to see it where it all began. Start with the beginning of the timeline. I'm better than whatever Legends tried to do. The game with the first. Yep, the game. The origin point of this point
Yep.
in the series is chronologically. Whip swing is an interesting mechanic to have, with this being its first appearance in a 3D game. However, it's sort of held back by the unclearness of when it's actually targeted in something. And a radical would have made this feel way better. Some hidden paths are also poorly hinted at, like off-camera ledges, and as in both the ghostly theater's spike rooms. I was pleasantly surprised by Lament of Innocence. Expectations were about as low as they could possibly be after the N64 game. I didn't bother with the extra characters at the time being, but may return to those at a later date.
Yeah. What tier did you put this one in?
This was a B tier.
Yeah.
Right here. Solid game.
So, now for now for the last game in this update.
Yep.
Curse of Darkness.
Yep. Yeah, I never really heard anyone talk about Curse of Darkness, so I didn't go. So I really didn't know. So I didn't really know what to expect going in. Starting off, the game has complete camera control, making it the first 3D Castlevania to do so. Oh, the character growth in 2D games has been carried over to this game, giving more of a reason to engage with the combat than Lament of Innocence did. The level design has also been greatly improved from Lament with much less cryptic nonsense. And the amount of paths between areas is much appreciated, and it makes the world feel more interconnected. The game has various pieces of furniture you could sit on, including various chairs, a bench, and even a toilet.
Yes. Juste would be proud.
Yep. Hector locked in.
Even if Juste comes later in the timeline.
Yeah. Okay. There's even a room with demented circus music in Cordova Town. I'm tracking what you've sat on. Kind of similar to the furniture room in Harmony of Dissonance.
Yes.
Minus affecting the ending. Real highlight of the game is the Innocent Devil system. The core mechanic is for the century. The evolution system brings Pokemon to mind, though, but that's a bit of an overdone comparison for Monster Team mechanics. The ID system has a surprising amount of depth and variety, considering that. Considering in the fact that the series has never attempted a monster taming mechanic before. There are 6 types of ID: a fairy, battle, bird, mage, devil, or the secret pumpkin type that you can access right at the end of the game. There's a total of 23 unique final form IDs, with each branch entering evolution and being determined by what types of weapon you're using. We will fight alongside them. Devil does not have any branches and is the only ID to work that way. A devil and pumpkin also require the use of very specific weapons to reach their 3rd stages. Only gripe I have with the system is the skills of some very specific IDs are required to reach a few optional rooms. I ended up having to raise 5 extra IDs for map completion. So if you know what you're doing, you can only get away. With only raising one of each aside from the battle type. That proboscis for fairy, for an iron sight for battle, old crimson or indigo for bird, and with mage you need to learn the sorcery flame and a scissor rod and purify as Nautilus rod, which you evolve your Nautilus and it's rod into. Who doesn't matter. The ID system.
And of course, pumpkin isn't required for anything.
Yeah, pumpkin is just a bonus.
Yeah, pumpkin's just a little Easter egg.
The ID system, along with the ability to use different weapons, keeps the combat fresh the whole way through. While Lament's combat system is good, being stuck with the whip is just the whip as a primary weapon with limited the scope of the combat. The story was rather intriguing, even if it was bizarre at times. And despite Trevor's presence, they managed to not make him the center of attention the whole time, and I respect that. They also gave Trevor an actual personality rather than just a Simon too. How could I forget about Isaac?
Also, a little side tangent about the Innocent Devil thing. Yes, there is a fairy skill that's used for map, relating to the map, which is the which one was it? The one where you read the decipher.
Yeah, the decipher.
Is it just called decipher?
I think.
Yeah, there's one where you decipher things.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Things, but you can just look up the answers to the hints on the wall, so like,
Yeah.
you don't technically need it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Since all it does is let you read text, you wouldn't be able to otherwise.
A Curse of Darkness somehow exceed all my expectations and iterated on the groundwork laid by Lament in all the best ways. Like before, I haven't played Trevor mode yet, and Lament's extra modes will have to wait until I'm no longer working on a deadline.
Yeah.
I'll get to them sometime.
Mm-hmm.
I'm.
Yeah.
And yeah. And so surprisingly, I found some. I put Curse of Darkness as an S tier.
Yes, we were kind of both surprised that we ended up with an S tier here.
Yeah, very. Yeah, I had a lot of fun with with Curse of Darkness.
Very underrated entry.
Seriously, we need a fucking Origins collection or something.
Yes, please give us the
3D collection.
3D games.
Give us Oh god, yeah, I sure know how you'd play Curse of Darkness.
Yes.
I sure know how you'd play Curse of Darkness. But yeah, after all that, yep. Yeah, just a quick little update video. Just a quick little.
Just
A quick little update, and yeah, and finally, yep, I finally played them all. We finally played them all.
Yeah.
Jesus.
So
this was one of the two things we had planned.
and for Halloween this year, here, we have one more video to go through.
One more video to go through. It's about something. It's about something we've talked about. We also something we've talked about before around this time.
Do we just mention it this time?
Oh. No. No.
I don't want a snack.
No.
You're not?
No.
No.
We're trying to finish up this video.
Yeah.
Where's your shirt? See if
It's. But no. So it's another. It's another.
It's another tier list
Another tier list video.
This time we're talking about Spooky's Jump Scare Mansion. And we're going to be ranking every specimen.
Well, I am.
Well, based on Noah's experiences, I'll help him with the reading on the next video, since I'm very knowledgeable on Jump Scare Mansion.
Very knowledgeable.
Oh, believe me, it was a hyperfixation of mine at one point.
Yeah, we made an entire video. About 2 years ago, we talked about the game.
And yeah.
All right. So, all right. I'm Nazran.
And I'm Amory, and bonjour.
Bonjour.
See you in the next video.
Yeet!